Hello, my fellow duped backpack mods. I'm Mr. Church. This week in the item shop, there is nothing new, and that includes false advertising. So in this video, I'm going to be going over some stuff in the bundles that you might want to grab while it's there. I'm going to be pointing out some stuff that are shown but are not in the bundle. And I'm going to be addressing sky camps, and is it a bannable offense, according to Bethesda Gaming Studios. The first thing I want to point out is we have these new icons on these bundles. The bundles themselves are new, but not a single item in any of these bundles is actually new. So that's a little confusing potentially. Like putting those items together in one chunk, that's the new thing. There's nothing new here, okay? And it kind of, you can tell from up here that it's supposed to be like a sale or whatever, but putting these new tabs on them instead of sale tabs, which I think would have been more appropriate. In the Back to Your Roots Shelter bundle, we have some different things. We got the Root Cellar Shelter, the Light Vines, the Spore Plant Bed. Wow, that's actually two already that are in the right order. The Rhododendron Flower Bowco, Vines, Heavy Vines, Budding Apothecary, and the Wicker Mr. Fuzzy Plushie. The rhododendron flower requires 58,000 ingredients, including different plants and different like pieces of meat and like some shrapnel, like sacred rituals in order to craft it, which is very annoying. Now, the Root Cellar Shelter is actually a pretty cool shelter if you don't have it. The outside of it looks like a cellar entrance. You've got the bulkhead thing. And when you first enter, it does appear to be very small and dark. But over in this corner, there's actually this tunnel down this way. And when you go down here, it opens up into this massive room, which is very dimly lit. And I really, really like that about this shelter. I've never actually built this before, but I do own it, and I did plan to, but I just never did. I kind of forgot I had it because the building menu is such a mess. I just forget about half the stuff I own. There's really good detail in this shelter, and lots of like cool stuff. Like when you look down the floor, you can see there's water down there. You can glitch down there, but you can't build down there. It's outside of the building zone. You can always make an area brighter with our lights that we have, because you know how we have lights we can build, but you can't make an area darker. So I think starting off really dark is a really good way to go with shelters. The other notable thing from this bundle that I want to point out are the vines. Now, I have covered this in a few other videos before, but the reason why vines are such a useful tool for camp builders is we use them to make free place walls. Now, I'm going to link this video by Vapid Valentine, who first built the free place wall vine blueprint. I'm going to link the video where she shows it in because it's a really cool camp build you should also check out. But essentially, all you're doing is you're putting down a little carpet, you're placing a wall on top of the carpet, and you're putting the vine on it. You don't need to put the wall on top of the carpet. That just allows you to place it down on roofs and foundations. You can put the floratum anywhere in relation to the wall, and this blueprint will still work. You just blueprint the carpet, the vine, and the wall. And as you can see, it places down just fine. Then, of course, you can delete the vine and the carpet, leaving the wall behind. There are several ways to free place walls, and a lot of people like to use the catwalks. This is another way you can do it. You can also use the blinds if you have them. And there's actually another way to free place walls that I haven't shown yet, but I will soon, don't worry. Go back to sleep. The last thing from this bundle that I want to point out is the Spore Plant Bed. This is one of the items that is tall and interactable. What that means is you can use it to go under the map. This is helpful for when you get stuff stuck under the map and you need to access it from below ground. You can also build camps under the map. I've built several where you can go under the map, and there's different ways you can do it. Now, you don't need this item to go under the map. You can use the symptomatic, which is actually an in-game item, so you need to spend any money in order to do that. This is just a cool item that allows you to do it. I really like it. So yeah, I just wanted to point that one out. It's pretty good. Now, speaking of building under the map, some of you may have seen on Reddit, a couple of people posted the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, about getting banned for having sky camps. One of the people, Spike Jesting, said that they got an email notifying them that their build had been reported for cheating and exploits, and their account was perma-banned because of it. This was pretty horrifying to see, obviously, and if you guys saw this, I'm sure you can understand why that might be scary. And there was another post by Edgar Bop, who had the same thing happen, a permaban for having a flying camp, because it was a best builds involving cheats and exploits. So I believe both of these, in both of these cases, the build was a best build. I don't know if players are reporting these things or if there's something that's automated that's getting triggered by their best builds system itself. But for some reason, suddenly on the same day, 2 people got permabanned for having floating best build camps. So obviously the people that got banned appealed the ban to, because it's bullshit. Edgar Bop did post today, a few hours ago, that they got their account restored, which is really great. And in their post, they said that they're glad it's been reactivated, but there's a serious lack of details about how I'm supposed to move forward with my camps. For now, I've just removed all my camps from best build systems, as I feel that really allows people to easily report. I'm definitely feeling my enthusiasm for the game diminish as a result of this too. Believe me, I feel you. The last thing he said was, I hope Bethesda can create clear guidelines for us so we can build and showcase our camps without the looming threat of a ban. And as you can see, the message that they got says, following a thorough investigation, we have now reactivated your Bethesda.net account, and you may now log back in. Thank you for your patience. They say nothing. You don't say anything about why it happened, about if they keep doing this, it's gonna happen more or whatever. I have a video that I made on best builds outlining all the issues with it. This isn't one of the issues I put in my video because it hadn't happened as yet. But yeah, that's yet another reason why not to use the best build feature. That really needs a lot of fucking work. So like me, you may be wondering, like, well, where does that leave us? Those of us who do that unforgivable sin of building a camp a little bit higher in the air. It turns out that a Bethesda community manager actually did respond to one of these posts after getting tagged about it, and they were able to clarify the situation a little bit better. Ghostly Rich said,
"Thanks for tagging, yes. Our team has completed a review of this situation, and the decision was made to reverse the actions taken on the account. We have already shared this news with the camp creator. I also wanted to take this moment to reassure builders that floating camps are okay to build, and we love seeing them. We've highlighted a lot of them in our various camp showcase pieces over the years. When building your camp, please continue to make sure your build isn't being used to harm the gameplay experience for other peoples or break the terms of service in other ways. Harassment, creating server issues, building a giant glass penis, etc."
And Life Goals Thigh High responded,
"Thank you for not only the prompt response, but the clarification regarding the status of floating camps legality. Your reply has relieved a great deal of anxiety, knowing that these camps are still seen as valid, but raises a few questions as to why this player was given a permanent ban in the first place. If this is due to automated reporting, are there any internal processes or safeguards being updated so that this kerfuffle can be avoided in the future?"
And of course, Ghostly Rich responded, and this is the important part.
"Sure thing. I can say that we've clarified the process internally. And it's not our intention to take action on camps based on how they're built, as long as it's not negatively impacting the status of server or other players. Camp building is such a core part of Fallout 76, and we love all the creative ways many of you have used the tools provided, and we love how much money you give us in the item shop. As always, thank you all for being quick to tag me and giving us the time to review. You will.
So that's all good news, and aren't we all glad we don't have to worry anymore, except until next time that something else randomly gets reported and we get banned. So for those who always ask, will I get banned for this? We have in writing, no you won't. So if you ever do get banned for anything like that, going into the map, floating camps, merging, screaming at your mother, just make sure you peel that. You can also maybe go take a picture of that from the Reddit post for when they start cracking down on us because they don't like the way we sound when we're quoting them on our videos. Now, in the theater performance bundle, it's just a bunch of hooey bafooey stuff that I don't really care too much about. I mean, the Art Deco wallpaper is kind of cool, I guess. But I don't really care about the theater stuff. And a lot of this stuff came from, as it says, Season 13. This is a lot of stuff that came on the scoreboard. By the way, I want to mention, if you're not seeing some of these bundles, it's because you own everything from them already. I had to actually go onto my PC account to actually see the bundles because I owned all the stuff on PlayStation already from doing the season pass. One of the things I do like is the marquee letter set. I really like these letters. Like, they're really good, but they do the bug thing where when you put them down, then you log out and you log back in, the letters have disappeared. Half of them have sunk in a bit. It's very unfortunate, and it is bugged out. So if you get this for the letters, keep that in mind. It will be a problem, and you will swear about it. Personally, I don't give one rat's ass about the theater performance bundle, but that's just my personal opinion. You might want this stuff. You might give a rat's ass about it. But let's move on to the Army Camp Bundle, which is also new, brand new. All these return items. Now, what we have in this bundle is the shooting target stand, the Army base kit, the Green Army camo carpet, floor, and foundations, Army posters, and the ground military vehicle set. Or if you already know what the items are because you already own them and therefore don't need to buy them, you can figure out what the pieces are. Now, this is the inside of a wall. They did this already. And it was a different wall set. To sell the wall set, instead of having like the picture, you know how they have that picture that has like all the pieces of a building kit on it so you know what it looks like? They took a picture of the inside of the walls. So you can't even tell what that looks like. And like, obviously we put wallpapers on the inside of the wall, but guess what side of the wall you don't put wallpapers on? The outside. So isn't that side the more important side to know what it looks like? And like, there's no picture of any windows. There's no doorway. It's just insanity at this point. Like, that is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen a human being choose to do. Someone with an actual frontal lobe, they sat down at their desk and they said, you know what, this is how I'll sell this camp set. But if you actually care about, you know, camp building, and because I guess I have to do the sales for them, this is what the Army base kit actually does look like. It's actually one of the best wall sets in the game, in my opinion. I really like how this one looks. It is one of the wall sets that's used on a lot of the buildings in the game, so it's really good for making immersive camps. You can blend it in with stuff. You can build next to buildings that have this exact wall type and kind of expand on it. I actually made this build. It's a barber shop with apartment over it using this camp build, and it looks like it's from in the world because of the wall kit that I used. One of the things that I really like about this set is when you burn the walls on this, just like the corroded wall set, they don't have a bar on the bottom of the wall. So if a wall is burned and it doesn't have a like part of the model doesn't include a bar going along the bottom of the wall, it treats it the same way as a doorway, which means you can remove the foundation from underneath it, which is really helpful for when you're building like walls that are overlapping. And also, speaking of walls overlapping, these will also overlap side to side when one of those is burned. I wish I had known that when I built my buyer's camp, because that would have saved me about 5 days of time. But I know it now, so that's good. Speaking of the buyer's camp build, this shooting target stand is actually kind of fun. You can do some cool stuff with it. Now, this thing, when you shoot it, it actually breaks. And so in that sense, it functions just like the Thrasher egg. Now, if you're not familiar with a Thrasher egg, I made a whole video going over how cool this item is, how you can break your own item, and this allows you to do a lot of complex merging and stuff like that. Now, because of the size and shape of what this item is, you can use it in the same method, but for wall decor. So for an example, this is my buyer's camp build. And by the way, I do have an entire tutorial video on this if you want to see how I built it, and if you want to see what happened and why I got here and why I'm in therapy. That video I'll link in the description. But as you can see, when you walk in here, we've got of course, the Demogorgon coming through the wall. This is actually built on the shooting target stand, which has been merged into the wall. I actually used the army wall, burned that, then there was, you know, a hole so I could shove it into the wall, then repair it. You could also, you know, use doorways and stuff like that. But anyway, so what you can do is you can break this shooting target using the little the feet that stick out. Because the goo thing is attached to it, when you break that, that disappears. So if someone comes into your camp and they see that on the ground and they're like, oh, I'm going to repair that, because you know how they always do that, even though you wanted it to be broken. And then suddenly they'll get attacked by the Demogorgon. So it's pretty cool. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. Now, I do want to add that, in case you missed it, in a coming update, they will be making changes to the Wrecking Ball perk, which will allow you to break all of your camp items. So basically, it'll turn everything into the shooting target thing and the Thrasher egg, essentially. So in a few months' time, this item specifically won't be necessary to do those kinds of things. If you want to see more about what I'm talking about, I made a whole video going over the changes to the Wrecking Ball perk card that I was testing out in the PTS, and I'm going to link that in the description. A lot of this stuff down here is just complete random garbage that I'm not personally a big fan of. I did want to point out the Graham's Green Bundle is essentially a outfit. You're buying this outfit, a plushie, and one of these. Do you want to buy one of these with your money? Okay, that's fine. And then the Helvetia bundle, I wanted to point out a couple of things. First of all, these masks obviously are different colors than the rare masks, the reskins of the rare mask. So what makes the masks have value is the rarity, right? We can all agree on that. That's why you see 40,000 sun masks on the ground and people selling their liver for a glowing Scorch Beast mask, okay? Because what gives them value is their rarity, okay? So what this is everyone's gonna know that you bought this when you're wearing it around, because it's not the right colors. So you're basically just wearing the Temu version of the Helvetia rare masks. And so they don't have value inherently. And so I just don't understand why you might want them. Even though I do like the design of this one, like I just rather wear the original purple one that has also value, you know, because then everyone, when they look at me, they'll think I have value as a human being because I have something rare in this video game. And they'll be like, wow, that guy's so cool. I wish I could be him. And instead, I'm just gonna silently loathe him and, you know, use some of his building techniques without crediting him or anything like that. So that's something that's fun. And this is a cool cart. Okay, that's nice. Wow. And this is a rug. You can get this rug. And these lights are actually pretty neat. I have used these several times. I used it in one of my recent builds. But also, this rug, if you want this rug specifically, I do want to remind you guys that sometimes you can buy individual items. And one of the individual items you can buy currently, if you have Fallout First, I mean, actually, I'm not even sure if this means that you get this if you have Fallout First, or if it's only 50% off if you have Fallout First. I don't know. But if you have Fallout First, for sure, you can buy the Swiss rug by itself. And also, you can buy that Graham plushie that's in that bundle that has the outfit in it. So, always make sure you're checking in the camp area, because you'll find stuff down in here that you might have wanted in a bundle, and you don't have to buy the whole bundle for. The Cappy's Train bundle is called that because it has this train set in it, and everything else is unrelated to trains in every single way, and it's just Cappy stuff. Oh, wow, that's great. Love it. Now, obviously, I went over the Nuka-Cola Services thing. If you missed out on that debacle, make sure you check out my last Atom Shop video, because there was some silly things that happened with the Nuka-Cola Services bundle. Wow. Some people have legacy camp items in 2025. Now, in the best of the best greatest hits, I want to point out a couple things that you might want. These are displays. You can display stuff on them. Wow, that's cool. The Modern Home Kitchen, I wanted to point out a couple of things. One, they're trying to sell the Modern Home Kitchen set, and they only showed half of the items. There's also wall decor pieces that go above it and match it, shelves, and then, like, you know, the arm that comes down in flubes. There's no picture of that. So they're trying to sell you something without showing you, like, what you actually get. That's really great marketing. Also, by the way, this is the Modern Home Fusion Core Generator Recharger. This is the Golden Years Tri-Circle Table. This is the Modern Home Kitchen Set. This is the Golden Years Rounded Couch. This is the Golden Years Vinyl Chair. They actually got one right on accident. And this is the cookie jar. Well, a stopped clock is right twice a day, as my mother used to say. She never said that. This cookie jar does collect some food over time. It's sugary stuff. It's like blackberry jam, something, and mud cookies and s'mores. I really actually do like the Golden Years decor set, personally. Now, some of you might not remember this, but when the pit update came out a couple of years ago, and they gave us the pit, and they also sold a $20 bundle called the Pit Recruitment Bundle. This was, I don't mean a $20 in like atoms. This was a bundle you could only buy for actual money, okay? And so I was unhappy about that, because it marked a change in the way that they tried to scrape as much money out of our pockets as possible. But in this bundle was a Fusion Core Recharger. At the time, this was the only Fusion Core recharging device in the game. Now we have several. We also have the Plasma Core one as well on this season's scoreboard. The thing that I want to make a big point about is the Fusion Core Recharger is the only utility item that was in the Pit Recruitment Bundle. And it was a reason why a lot of people bought this bundle for their with actual money. $20 to have the ability to charge their Fusion Cores, which nothing else gave at the time. So in my opinion, after selling that with real money to put the same exact item in the Atom Shop for very cheap, because I own it, it was in another bundle that was very cheap, is just so scummy. That's so scummy. Can you imagine if, I mean, some of you can't, you don't have to imagine. Some of you actually did buy the Pit Recruitment Bundle, and now everyone can just have the Fusion Core Recharger. Yeah, good job. And what does that teach you guys? Don't buy their bundles. Don't buy their for money bundles, because eventually that shit is gonna, it's gonna hit the streets. It's just so shitty to sell stuff as if it's exclusive and then later put it in the shop for atoms when you were selling it for only actual money. Also, this is a modern home kitchen bundle. Am I right? That's what that says? Why do you have a fusion core recharger in the kitchen? What is that doing in there? Wouldn't you put that in the garage or something? What's going on? What does that have to do with the kitchen? I don't know. I'm done with this one. What a fucking disaster. Speaking of disaster, what a great segue into the Disaster Dock bundle. They should name all their stuff this way. What we have is the Ohio River Adventure Dock Kit, the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition Set, the Bulwark, the Tire Road Sign, the Overgrown Thorn Plushie, and the Mirelurk Steamer. All of these are, of course, out of order and incorrect. Why is that important to point out? Well, obviously, if people don't know what these items are, how can they know what lines up with what? What are they actually buying? What does that mean? What makes this more infuriating than just having the items out of order is we also have this, which says the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition Set. What is that? What's the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition Set? It has a picture of the Fort Fortress Partition Set, but what is the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition Set? What does that even mean? As you can see, I've got a picture of all the items that came in the Fort Fortress bundle when it first came out. We have the Fort Fortress kit. We have the Fort Fortress partition. That's what we have a picture of right here. We have the Fort Fortress wall walk. We have the partition wall walk ladder. We have the Fort Fortress stairs, and we have the Fort Fortress door. Because they've continuously put pictures in here that are not the right item, or they've continuously put pictures in here that only show half of it, like they did with the Modern Home Kitchen, or they show only the inside of wall kits, so you don't even know what you're buying. So in this case, you can't trust that even though they have the picture of just the Fort Fortress partition, that's what's included, because this is misleading and deceptive. And someone would think, oh, there's also the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition Set, right? Like, a lot of people might read that and think that includes the wall walks, which a lot of people actually want because they function very similarly to catwalks and you can use them in that way. Or they might think that includes the Fort Fortress kit, the wall kit, because it says Fort Fortress and Plank Partition. I don't even know what this includes. I own all this stuff, And the only way that I can find out what's in this bundle is if I buy it right now on PC and go into the game and look in my new tab, because otherwise I have no idea what they're selling me right now. So if you don't think it's important to put the fucking pictures in the right order, you can at least put the fucking name on it correctly so we know what it means. Because this isn't the Fort Fortress and Plank Partition. This is called, according to you guys, the Fort Fortress Partition. So what are we buying here? What is that? So I have to go into the game. I have to buy it, go into the game to know. I don't want you guys to do that. How about this? I'll do one purchase and they'll make one sale so that all of you guys don't accidentally do that. So in the long run, we can at least save collective community money by me taking one for the team right now. So let's go in and do it. Let's see what this is. Before I go in and do that, though, I do want to point out that the Ohio River Adventure Dock Kit is actually pretty cool. These items are cool, and they can actually be placed in the water, which is significant because a lot of stuff in this game can't. You know what else can't be placed in the water? The Bulwark. That's this ship. Yeah, I know. You can't put a boat in the water because... And you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's in the water right there, isn't it? I mean, you can place it in a puddle, but if the water goes, like if the water is too deep, it suddenly won't let you place it anymore. And obviously there's no way to like put it on top of deep water. And the problem with it is, unlike some items that you can like place on top of an item and float, the Bulwark has to be placed in dirt. So you can't like just place it on another item, reverse merge it, and have the boat in deep water, because again, like I said, you have to place it. It can only place in places where a foundation would go. So because of that, it's really fucking useless in a lot of situations. It's a cool item, like it looks very cool, but if you wanted to put this in the water because it's a boat, good luck. The steamer, because it doesn't say, this is a collector and it creates over time a bunch of different meat foods, a lot of Mirelurk stuff, cooked Mirelurk things, and stuff like that. So that one's good if you're a carnivore. It does collect food over time. And the last thing I want to point out before I bite the bullet and buy this bundle is the lettering on this that says Abandon Hope does not exist in this game. I've never seen that in my life. If you guys have, you can correct me, of course, in the comments. I've never seen that lettering before. Have you? So someone who, has played for a while and hasn't seen what this item actually looks like, this tire sign doesn't have anything on it. It's empty. It's blank. Someone buying this isn't going to know that from this picture. They're going to think that it actually says Abandon Hope on it when you buy it. It doesn't. It doesn't say anything. And those letters right there aren't sold in this bundle, of course. Those are the marquee lettering that I was showing in the other bundle. So, the amount of just lazy and foolish advertising that's going on here is becoming unacceptable to a level that I'm getting like more angry each week as I do this. Like, it's disgusting to treat your community that way, and to treat your consumers that way, and to treat the people that are supporting you. I mean, the people that are buying stuff in the item shop, that's what's keeping your game afloat at this point. So like, what are you doing? Like, you have some fucking self-respect. You know what I mean? Like, what are we, clowns? Like, I can hear the honking as you walk up, and I can't tell, is that your nose or your shoes? That's the one question I have. Anyway, let's all right. Let's go. Let's find out. Let's find out, guys. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, I'm sure. I can't imagine it wouldn't be. This is the moment of truth, guys. This is the moment of truth. All right, so the plank part. Okay, so we got these, which are the plank partitions. Okay, which they didn't have a single picture of, and that includes these different pieces. This is actually a really good item, and they didn't put one picture of it. All right, so we have this one. This one, and this one. Some of you guys might recognize this. This was the item that got bugged out a few months ago when Skyline Valley came out, and we weren't able to repair them or build them. So if your camp got destroyed, you couldn't do anything about it. So these are called a plank partition, okay? And these are called the Fort Fortress fence. If it was just these, I would say don't get them, because these fences don't play nicely. They don't like to snap together and anything like that. And that's it. That's all. That's it. There's nothing else from the Fort Fortress bundle, and there is instead the plank partition. So remember what they called this. Remember what they called this in the Atom Shop. They called it the Fort Fortress and plank partition set. The Fort Fortress and plank partition set. And instead, they didn't have anything from the Fort Fortress bundle except for the fence here, which is called the Fort Fortress partition. So what they should have written, if they were actually not being lazy and foolish, is they should have had this separate, called the plank partition set, and then maybe, I don't know, have some fucking pictures of it, and then have this thing, which they had a picture of, and instead of calling it the Fort Fortress and plank partition set, they would call it what it is, the Fort Fortress partition set. Or if that was too much work, they could have written the Fort Fortress partition set and the plank partition set. But as it stands, what they wrote is not what it is. You can't just combine two different items into one word and then expect people to know what that means. Especially when, do you guys remember why this bugged out? It bugged out because they named something else the plank partition set as well. So, like, how are we supposed to know what you're selling when you guys don't even know what it's called, to the degree that you name two items the same thing, so one of them breaks and you have to remove it from the build menu until you fix it, and you don't have a single picture of it, so we can't at least deduce from that what you're selling. Like, this whole thing is idiotic. And remember what I said about this? It doesn't have any lettering on it. It's completely empty and foolish. And while I'm here, this is what the size of this thing. And these things, you can like lift and lower them into the ground. It's kind of hard to, because I don't know how to build on PC. I build with a controller usually. And then of course this, which can only be placed in dirt. Anyway, that's fun. Let's get out of this game and never relog back in. But guys, at least they did give us a coffin for free, you know? That kind of makes up for it. That makes up for it. But yeah, make sure you grab your free coffin. I'm probably going to go lay down in mine once I finish this video. If you like this video, by the way, make sure you hit the like button. It does help the video like spread like the plague. And subscribe if you're not already. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members for your support. That is what keeps me going at night when I lay down in bed, start sobbing and weeping, thinking about the item shop. It is the support of my patrons that allows me to take one for the team like I just did, and to buy these things, even though it can make small children weep. If you guys are interested in joining me on Patreon, the link for that is in the description. I post exclusive content there, and we have a good time and talk about cheese. If you guys are in the Discord, it's a great community. Join the Discord. The link for that is also in the description. And I stream on Twitch, guys, on Mondays and Fridays. And the link for that, guess where it is? It's in the description. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.